The next question comes from Catherine Ruddell, and she asks, can you think of one thing you thought would be straightforward but wasn't, and one thing you thought would be complicated but turned out to be easier than expected? So as it pertains to the art shop, there are just so many things that I didn't even take into consideration when I first started this project and had the idea that I wanted to do these daily art pieces and sell them. But one thing that ended up being way more complicated than I even thought was definitely the inventory software that we use. We use a system called ShipStation. One of my biggest fears with opening a shop was that orders would get lost somewhere. Someone would pay me money for art, and then somehow we would lose track of their order if I was doing it manually. So it was really important to me to invest in software where Laura, my assistant, and I could track every single order and make sure that it was, noted when it went out the door, how long it had been since the order came in, and things like that. ShipStation is great for that because it hooks into our Squarespace commerce. However, it's very robust software. So there are like all of these bells and whistles, and Laura and I are learning things daily of how to use this software to the way that we want to use it. And so that's one thing that was definitely a little bit harder on the front end to figure out. In terms of something that was easier than I expected, I would probably have to say updating the shop daily. So many of you from my last week's email know that I'm moving to a day of inventory schedule. What that means is when I post a piece on Instagram as that daily piece, immediately it's available for purchase in the shop. And when I came up with that idea, and actually the reason I didn't even start out with that idea in the first place was because I thought it would be so difficult to update the shop daily, to create these new listings and the product descriptions and to retire old ones. It just felt like a lot of moving parts. But Laura, my absolute godsend, has been fantastic in developing a really systematic approach to that. So we use a project management software called Asana, and every day she knows exactly what she needs to do to get the inventory ready so that I can hit publish and then publish it on Instagram. So we've gotten into a rhythm with that. And so that's a lot easier than I actually thought it would be. And we can just duplicate products. Laura can update the product listing, and we're good to go.